Hey everyone, hey guys, doing? Grug's here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back once again, troops, legionnaires, new recruits. As always, really appreciate you all taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. All right, today we're going to be testing out a part 2 of the Lengren Persian Hunter. The other day I cut up a turkey with the satin version. Today we're going to do some outdoor testing. Okay, with this version, it's a little bit camouflaged. Same steel, Sleipner, different handle. It's more like a burlap type of micarta, but we're going to be putting this to the test. Let's see how it performs for the outdoors. What's everybody carrying? I'm going to keep on carrying my throw club drop point right here. I love this knife. Excellent. I cannot wait to get the other models. You're going to see soon enough what's everybody carrying. Veterans, active military, just want to say thank you very much for your service. I hope you enjoyed the video. Quick specs, let's get it done. Once again, this is the Lengren Persian Hunter. Overall length 8.5 inch, blade length 4.13 inch, blade material Sleipner Steel, blade hardness 61 HRC, blade thickness 6 millimeter, handle length 4.73 inch, handle material is micarta. This one's brown. They do make like an emerald green. Weight 7.69 ounces. It features a full tang, a recessed lanyard hole, a leather sheath, and a Uticlip. Quick close-up. This model is the camouflaged version. All right. They also make a satin, so go check out my test of the satin version on a turkey. It did very well. All right, and if you take a look at the blade, it's a nice clip point, and it's got a couple of different grinds over here. This is the side I'm going to be using for woodworking, but the clip over here, that belly, is perfect for cutting up meat and game. 6 millimeter full tank goodness. It's got some jimping over here. Hopefully the jimping and the spine will be able to do some scraping. Again, we're going to be using this one for outdoor type use and examples, so hopefully it will do well. Handle is very nice. It's a little small, but no matter how you hold it, it feels really good in the hand. There is a lanyard hole. It's recessed. I'm not going to be doing any kind of chopping with this knife. I am going to do some V-notch batoning with it, so I don't really need a lanyard, but the option is there for those who are interested. And you could see that the full tang protrudes just a little bit all the way around the knife. I think it's a nice little added touch. And you can do a little batoning on the top with that protruded tang, you know, if you wanted to stick it into the stump. But a very nice blade. Now let's take a look at the sheath. Now this one I left the Uticlip on it. This is set up for outside carry, so I'm going to attach this on my belt with the Uticlip over here. Okay, and then snap it into place because I want to carry it upright on the right side. If you take a look at my other video of me cutting up the turkey, I have a whole different setup on here, but this is what it comes with. It was made for inside the waistband carry, and on the opposite side is a beautiful Lengren logo. However, I didn't want to do this particular knife in an inside the waistband type carry, so I just flipped it over, and this is the only logo that is visible. However, it's still a pretty nice sheath. Let's pop this knife in. There you go. Okay. Fits really nice. It's leather, so okay, we're good to go here. All right, let's do a little bit of outdoor work with this. All right, troops, I've got a nice log over here. This is no joke, pretty hard. You know, if you're a hunter and you're out there, and again, I think that this is a dedicated hunting knife. I would not use this personally myself for the outdoors, but these are samples that were given to me for testing. So I'm going to show everybody. So what I'll do is I'll cut this in half and then we'll process this log over here. All right, so not going to do any chopping with this, like I had mentioned in the beginning. I'm just going to V-notch baton through this to get what I want done. Now, if you notice, this has a really nice secondary bevel that's ground nice and high. I like that. I like that type of a grind. Now, my experience with Sleipner Steel with Lengren has always been very positive. I have not had any issue with the heat treat edge geometry with these knives, and hopefully this will be no exception. So, you know, if you're out in the field and you're doing a catch and cook type of deal, you know, even fish, hopefully I can demonstrate that this knife is capable of, you know, not only processing whatever game it is that you have, but, you know, if you're an avid outdoorsman, you're going to use this for some outdoor use. Nothing heavy duty, mind you, again, nothing heavy duty. Just going to keep on chipping away over here. And I am using every part of the blade. The blade does have a dual grind. The rear part is a lot wider, then the front part is a lot thinner, okay? So again, good for skinning, cutting up game. And I think that this part will be really good for, you know, woodwork. So you can see it's cutting up real good, notching up real good. All right. Okay, I'm trying to get very specific. You can see that little thin piece. I purposely did that. So far, so good with the handle. You know, I'm definitely banging on this. And we're doing good with the handle. I am trying to use the whole part of the blade. My hope is that you've noticed while watching this video definitely biting in. You know, now that I'm using this for the outdoors, I think the handle could be just a tad longer. All right, but again, me personally, I would just use this for a hunting knife, and so far that edge looks really good. We're almost through, troops. See if I can get some bigger chunks out of here. Almost done, almost done. So this 6 millimeters should do justice. There we go. All right, that was awesome. Let me clean this up, and then we'll do some vertical and horizontal batoning. Okay, these are the two pieces I just batoned through. I'm going to put this down. We're going to do some horizontal batoning with this. But this one we will do the vertical. And I'm going to use the rear part of the blade where the grind is a little bit thicker. There we go. Okay, very nice. Let's continue. Some very, very tightly densed wood. Look at that grain structure, man. Let me do a little bit on the front part of the blade in case you want to do something on the front. Now this did very well going through that turkey bone. Perfect. Okay. Nice job right here. Let's just quarter this. I don't want to go overboard. Now this tip is pretty substantial. If you go look at that turkey video, I did use it to go through the bone. But what the hell? Let's do this one real quick. All right, it did go through. And you could see that this wood is not splitting so easily. Whoops, I'll pick that up in a second. Let's just keep on going. Once again, through. So this is a good piece of wood to be testing. All right, we're through. And you can see the split over here. And let's finish up the other side. And then I'll show you, well, let's show you the tip right now. It's 6 millimeters thick. So Sleipner steel done well with the heat treat. I am very confident that we're going to be good to go with this. All right. Okay. Nothing's wrong with that tip. There you go. Let me just pick up that other piece and let me finish this. So far, so good with the handle. All right, excellent, excellent. So kindling galore. And you just saw that I used basically the whole part of the blade. And there you go, man. Still nice and sharp. That Sleipner steel is kicking some ass. Let's do some horizontal batoning with this. Okay, let's do some horizontal batoning. Since this piece of wood is kind of on the tough side, I'm going to use a little bit heavier baton here. Also, probably take forever with that other piece. So let's do the horizontal. Now, who knows, you might pick up a piece of wood that's pretty tough out in the field, right? Okay, a little bit of abuse right here. You can see it's almost split, not 100%, but once I do this now, and the heavier Centurion baton made quick work of this. I'm just going to quarter this. Let me just pick up that other piece. Okay, let's finish this off. Didn't like the way that was going. Do it this way. Kind of wanted it a little more straight. It was going on an angle. Okay. Let's see where we're at here. Perfect. Okay. I got quarters. Let's do some things nice and straight here. Just before I go, okay. Any lesser knife, I know for a fact that it would have gone dull or the steel would have bent. So let me clean this up and we will do feather sticks and individual curls. This is that kiln dried wood. Then I got some really hard wood over here. And then I have this wood that I used to do the V-notch batoning and the tip testing, vertical and horizontal batoning. So I'm just going to use that really nice belly on that clip. And you could just do this until you get the desired amount of shavings that you want. Again, this is some really dense wood, so this is really good test, in my opinion. Actually, too far back. All right, you can see that. It's just doing a fine job. Wow, this street is busy today, man. There are cars just driving up and down here, all kinds of work happening. And you see that thicker part now? Now I've used the whole blade so you could see that I am making, I know this piece is small, but I am making the nice curls here of the wood that I originally started off with. But, you know, in the woods you might, or hunting or whatever, you might experience some different types of wood out in the field, okay? This is a little bit of that hard dried wood. And we'll definitely make a feather stick here for you. Like I said, I know I repeat myself all the time. I don't care. It's not a bushcraft knife, man. This is to me, it's a dedicated hunting knife. You know, I would just, you know, once I'm done with this, I'm cleaning these up, and it's going to be for hunting if I ever do it again. But it's good to know, right, that your knife, your hunting knife, can be relied upon to build yourself a little fire, right? Again, why not take this fishing? You know, you're doing, I know you could take a bird and trout, but if this is what you want to take, you could take this. Okay, and then let's just do the individual curls here. And you can make a big pile of this. Okay. And I think these two are the exact same thing, but just in case. Give you an example a little bit longer. Feathers. And if you're talented, you can do this all day long. I don't think we need to do the feather sticks bullshit anymore. I think this is just fine to light anything up, you know. But you do what you want. It's your knife, your money, your outing. Okay, so I've got 2 feather sticks here, and then this is that kiln dried wood. Let's see. Whoops. Oh well. You get the idea though. Okay. Small example. I just want to make a divot with this tip, and then we can do camp tasks. See how that performs. I want to see if this jimping over here will spark up a ferro rod. Maybe do a little scraping of some fat wood, you know. But yeah, man, so far so good. Let's test out this spine. This part of the clip over here is rounded off. I don't think it's going to do anything. If anything, maybe where the jimping is, maybe, because it feels kind of rough. Every place else on this blade, other than the edge, is not sharp at all. So I have a little piece of wood here. Nope, not even the jimping is going to do it. Nope, not the clip, not anything. The only thing you could do here is with the edge. But again, it's a hunting knife, man. It's a hunting knife that can do some of the outdoor stuff, right? And this is the best you're going to get, unless you take a work sharp field guide and you make a little burr, or you take it to a belt sander. But this is such a nice knife, man. I would get something a little bit different than ruin this knife in any case. Let's see if it'll do a little scraping of some fat wood, because if at least it can do that. Nope. Wow. Too bad. It's just too bad. No. So again, you take that edge. Hopefully you can see that. And you could either round off what you need to round off. You know, if you just want to if you're trying to be frugal with your fat wood, you got a long hike, a few days, you don't want to use it all, you know, make big shavings. Just need a little bit. That's too bad. That's too bad. But again, you could always just make little thin shavings here. Okay. And do that instead. But too bad. I was hoping that it would at least do the fat wood. Now let's test out the ferro rod, because I'm talking about catch and cook, and I'm hoping that the ferro rod might spark. But I doubt it, guys. Listen, it's not a deal breaker. Again, it's just something you just take for a hunting expedition, you know. Again, that's just my opinion. Let's see. Nope, nothing, man. Nothing. Nope. Nope. It ain't happening. All right, so we got our answer with that. All right, let me do a tip test, another tip test. I want to make a divot at least for everybody, because I was digging into cartilage yesterday and bone with this tip, and you saw that I went through that other piece of wood in the beginning of the video. Now in this situation, again, to me this is still a hunting type knife. In this situation, the handle's a little bit on the small side. Kind of wish I had more leverage here. Just don't feel like I have enough handle, but push comes to shove. Okay, to do something. Okay, it's a pretty deep hole. And there's your tip. All right, let's just do some camp tasks. I think that's another fair test. Doing some camp tasks. I might even put on some gloves because now the handle is definitely wet from perspiration here. It's freaking muggy out here. Once again, it rained, the sun comes out, steams everything up, sun goes back in, and it's too late at this point. It's just muggy city. Okay, so let me just clean this up and we will do some camp tasks. Some familiar material from past videos or something you may have taken into the woods as a hunter, hiker, camper, what have you. Okay, so let's start off with some simple stuff right here. Wax string. Just saw a video of people, they made some kind of a bushcraft wheelbarrow. I thought it was pretty cool. He just used regular string. This is wax string, protect the rain or whatever. You can see it cut it. Okay. Paracord. Paracord. Easy. Maybe you're a rancher, you're on a ranch, you know. You like this style knife. You like the clip point. It'll do the job. Okay, and then we have synthetic rope, synthetic string, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is just as tough as that fishing line. It'll cut fishing line, no problem. Oops. Some nylon material here. You're camping and one of these things get messed up and you need to cut through. Done. All right. There you go. And obviously, if you want to use the tip, for whatever reason, that's a really nice tip to do whatever work that you need done. And then we have some rope, natural rope. Okay, cut real easy. A little slice for you. And let me see, I know this is kind of short now, but cut through, all right? We have some pallet tie. Again, you're a rancher, farmer. You may have received something with ties. You're going to use your knife. If you like this one, you carry it with you on the ranch, on the farm. All right, that will work. They tie prefabricated roofs with this here at this complex. Okay, cut. I got a heavy duty twist tie. Cut. And last but not least, a very, very thick, maybe you're getting some machinery on the farm or the ranch or whatever. You know, you have a very, very thick pallet tie right here. All right, we're good to go. And if it's butted up real tight, you know, on the, let me do this. If it's butted up real tight on whatever item that it is that you received, you know, you're gonna want to slip the knife in there and, you know, cut down on it. All right, great. Excellent, troops. Again, I would dedicate this as a hunter myself. You guys do what you want, but now you've got 2 parts of a video that you could judge and see if this knife is right for you. That Lengren Persian Hunter did pretty good. Okay, you've got 2 videos you can go check out. I did some cutting up of meat and bone. This little bit of a demonstration at the outdoor capabilities of this knife. It's lacking a sharp spine, maybe a little bit longer handle, but again, me personally, I think this is a hunting knife. It should be used just for hunting purposes. However, you saw that it can do the outdoors. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, thank you. As always, let me know what you think about this knife. Don't forget to check out the video of me cutting up the turkey. Did a pretty fine job. So make sure you take a look at that. Let me bring awareness, everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans in active military who want to get out of the service. They do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides. There'll be phone numbers you can call. There'll be websites that you can surf. A heartfelt message from one of your own, Martin Miller. Please seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits at the ready. Hold the line. Take care, man.